Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the latest insights to bring you, well, the most important nuggets of knowledge. Today, we're diving deep into the fast-moving world of artificial intelligence. We're looking specifically at the news, the really groundbreaking stuff from September 10th, 2025. Yeah, we've got a great rundown here from AI Unraveled. It covers, well, everything, cutting-edge wearables that honestly sound like science fiction. Then there are these major shifts in how the big tech companies are building their AI, new chip advancements, robotics, even how websites might start charging AI firms for content. So, our mission today, cut through the noise, Pull out the real business impact and try to get a handle on where AI is heading next. Get ready for some surprising facts, stuff that'll really get you thinking about what's next for you in this space. So, to kick things off, imagine a device that lets you communicate almost, well, telepathically. Sounds crazy, right? But it might be closer than you think. Let's start with something pretty remarkable. Alterego's near-telepathic AI wearable. This is a Boston startup spun out from MIT Media Lab. They've just shown off a device using AI to pick up on tiny movements, interpret silent communication, basically at the speed of thought, without you actually speaking. It's wild.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's so fascinating, I think, isn't just the mind control vibe, but how they're doing it. It gives you that BCI-like function without needing surgery or anything invasive. The headset, it uses these tiny cameras, right? And they detect really small muscle movements in your jaw, your throat, just when you think about speaking, subvocalizations. And it turns those signals into commands. The demo was pretty impressive. The founder was coding, texting, doing visual searches, even talking directly to other wearers using this thing they call silent sense.
And they claim it works in noisy places, handles multiple languages, visual cues, even if you're just intending to speak but not moving.
It makes you think of that Arthur C. Clarke quote, Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Exactly. And this project, it actually started way back in 2018 at MIT. Yeah. But they only just spun it out as a proper company this year, the kind of things they're showing. You normally expect that from invasive BCIs, brain-computer interfaces that connect right to the brain. Doing it with just a wearable, that could really change how we interact with AI, with everything around us. Makes it much more feasible for everyone.
Okay, so Alterego is kind of the far future vision, but we're also seeing moves in wearables from the big players happening right now. Amazon's jumping into smart glasses, right? Taking on Meta?
That's right. 2 projects, apparently. One's for consumers, codenamed Jayhawk. Full-color display, one eye only, deep Alexa integration, focused on shopping. They're aiming for late 2026, maybe early 2027 for that one. And then there's Amelia. That's the enterprise model, designed specifically for Amazon's delivery drivers, give them on-screen instructions trying to boost efficiency, and they want that one fast Q2 2026 for internal use. It really shows the practical side, doesn't it? Immediate business applications, real productivity gains they're chasing there.
And Apple's in the mix too, of course. New iPhone 17, iPhone Air, AirPods just announced. The Air sounds incredibly thin, great battery life. The 17 Pro gets the A19 Pro chip, fancy new cameras. But from an AI angle, what really jumped out were the AirPods Pro 3 updates.
Yeah, definitely. 4 times better noise cancellation, which is nice. But the big AI bit is the Apple Intelligence-powered Live Translate. That plus some health monitoring features. It's a perfect example of how AI is just becoming embedded. It's almost invisible sometimes. It's not always a big flashy feature, It's becoming this background layer in our phones, our glasses, these thought interfaces, enhancing what's already there.
Right, it's becoming foundational, which kind of leads us to the next point, how businesses are actually using AI. Let's unpack this. There's a big move from Microsoft that seems to signal a shift, maybe a more pragmatic approach in their AI strategy. They're apparently integrating Anthropic's Claude AI models into Office 365, alongside OpenAI's tech.
Yeah, this is pretty significant. It's really Microsoft's first major step to diversify beyond that huge OpenAI partnership they have. The report suggests Microsoft actually found Claude's Sonnet 4 models worked better for making spreadsheets and PowerPoint slides. Better than GPT-5, apparently. And here's the really interesting part. Microsoft will probably access Claude through Amazon Web Services, AWS, which means they'll be paying Amazon, a direct cloud rival, for usage, even though they technically have free access to OpenAI's models through their deal.
Wow, okay, that is interesting. Paying a competitor, it really suggests actions speak louder than, well, partnership announcements.
Absolutely. Yeah. Microsoft's been pretty careful publicly about the OpenAI relationship, downplaying any issues. But moves like this, plus releasing their own in-house models, it shows they're being practical. Getting the best tool for the specific job matters more than just sticking with one partner. Especially, as OpenAI is also looking more independent, developing their own chips. that jobs platform that could maybe compete with LinkedIn. You might see more of this, rivals partnering up for specific AI needs. Blurs the lines a bit.
And Anthropic's not just getting new partners, they're adding new features to Claude, too. File creation,
Yeah.
specifically. That sounds like it could really change daily work.
Oh, it's a potential game changer for sure. They've rolled out features so Claude can now create and edit Excel files, Word docs, PowerPoints, PDFs,
Mhm.
right there in the chat. Claude gets its own little private computing space to write and run code. So it can take data, turn it into reports, make charts, do analysis, add formulas. You can even convert stuff, like doing a PDF report into a slide deck.
That sounds incredibly powerful for everyday tasks. What's the immediate impact you see? How will people actually use this? Any potential downsides?
Well, the immediate impact is making complex things much simpler. Think about Excel. Instead of needing to know all the formulas, it's becoming more like just having a conversation in natural language.
Huh.
Ask Claude to do it. We saw this with coding tools already. Huge benefit for efficiency, obviously. But, does it change the skills people need? Maybe. It's rolling out now for Macs, Team, Enterprise users, Pro users soon. Though Anthropic does say, start with straightforward tasks. And be mindful of data risks if it needs internet access.
Okay, sticking with productivity, there's another AI assistant called Poke. From a startup, Interaction, it sounds like it's offering something smarter, more proactive.
Yeah, Poke integrates right into iMessage and SMS.
Yeah.
And the key difference is it tries to anticipate what you need before you ask. It hooks into your email, your calendar, your files, and then acts for you. Drafting replies, rescheduling meetings, booking travel, stuff like that.
So it's not like most assistants where you have to feed it information, copy and paste things. It's already connected, more seamless.
Exactly. It's designed to be truly proactive. It lives in your messaging app, watches the conversation, looks for things it can help with. Beta users apparently loved it. They exchanged like over 750,000 messages, said it sounded really human, and the company just raised a $15 million seed round. So investors clearly see potential in this kind of proactive, almost ambient AI. Imagine how that might change your email backlog or scheduling headaches.
It's interesting, though, thinking about how work changes. Microsoft also just ended its pandemic remote work policy, mandating 3 days back in the office. They're saying face-to-face collaboration is crucial for AI innovation, based on their internal data.
So even as AI changes how we work, where we develop, it still seems to matter.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the foundations, the infrastructure powering all this AI. Oracle stock had a massive jump.
Yeah. Biggest single-day gain in 26 years. A 28% surge after hours. And what's fascinating, really fascinating, is that it happened even though Oracle actually missed its earnings and revenue targets for the quarter. So the excitement from investors, it's purely about the future, all focused on Oracle's booming cloud infrastructure business and all these new AI deals they're signing. They expect cloud infrastructure revenue to jump, get this 77% this fiscal year to $18 billion. And they're projecting it could eventually hit like $144 billion later on.
Yeah.
It just shows where the market sees the real value now.
Yeah.
It's all about the underlying power needed for this AI revolution.
And on the hardware side, some amazing chip breakthroughs too. University of Florida engineers, a light-based AI chip.
Right, a silicon photonic chip. So instead of electricity, it uses laser light to do those core AI operations like pattern recognition for images, the convolution stuff. Imagine tiny microscopic lenses etched right onto the chip, directing the light beams. Fresnel lenses, they're called. And this light-based method, it gives them a huge boost in energy efficiency, like 10 to 100 times better than traditional chips, while still being about 98% accurate on image tasks. Plus, it can handle multiple data streams at once using different colors of light, wavelength multiplexing. That kind of energy saving is absolutely critical as AI models just keep getting bigger and hungrier for power.
Meanwhile, over in Europe, a big strategic move. ASML, the chip equipment giant, investing $1.5 billion in Mistral AI, the French startup.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. Part of a bigger funding round for Mistral, nearly $2 billion total, with NVIDIA involved too. ASML is now Mistral's biggest investor. And crucially, Mistral gets access to ASML's top-of-the-line chip-making equipment pipeline. This is really an inflection point. It helps Mistral train much larger models, speeds up their research. It solidifies them as Europe's main contender, really, in the global AI race. And it reflects this growing trend, doesn't it? Nations wanting to invest in their own domestic tech supply chains, avoiding over-reliance on, say, the US or China. It's about digital sovereignty.
And speaking of models, we also saw Baidu launch Ernie X1.1, a new reasoning model they say gets close to GPT-5 and Gemini 2.5 Pro performance and supposedly hallucinates less. But then Anthropic put out a report confirming they did have issues with response quality recently, though they reiterated they never intentionally degrade model quality. Shows it's still an ongoing process, refining these things.
Definitely. It's not always a smooth upward curve.
Okay, finally, on the foundational side, we're seeing big money going into physical AI. Humanoid robots. X Square Robot, a startup in Shenzhen, just launched an embodied AI model and raised $100 million.
Right. And that $100 million, led by Alibaba, brings their total funding up to around $280 million. Good numbers. They launched two things. WallOSS, which is an open source AI model specifically for embodied AI robots that physically interact with the world, and Quanta X2, a wheeled humanoid robot. Sensitive hands, designed to maybe be a robotic butler in hotels or similar places. But the key thing here, what X Square says makes them different, is they're building robots to do a variety of actions, not just one specific task over and over. Their WallOSS model aims for general-purpose robots. It learns from real-world action data, but also AI-generated video. The idea is to create this feedback loop, right, between the AI's decisions and the robot body's actual experience. So it learns not just how the world works, but how to act effectively in it, be more general intelligence. And Beijing sees humanoid robotics as a national priority. Alibaba's also committed, $53 billion for AI infrastructure over the next few years, and humanoid robots are a big part of that plan. It's a massive bet on physical AI taking off.
Okay, let's switch from the physical back to the digital. The whole relationship between AI and content, intellectual property. There's a new system letting websites charge AI firms.
Yes, it's called the Really Simply Licensing Protocol, RSL. Basically, it lets publishers put compensation terms right into their robots.txt file. That standard file on websites that tells web crawlers, including the ones AI companies use to train models, what they're allowed to look at. So RSL creates a clear way to say, if you want to use our content for your AI, you need to pay. It supports different models too, like paper crawl, where they pay when the bot gathers data, or paper inference, paying the creator each time the AI actually uses their info to answer a query. Sites like Reddit and Medium are early adopters. They can enforce it technically or, legally.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big step towards creators getting paid in this AI era.
And beyond the legal side, AI is also changing how businesses create content. There's a tutorial on using Nano Banana for product photos.
Yeah, kind of a fun one. It showed how to use this AI tool, Nano Banana, to generate these luxury miniature product photos.
Yeah.
The style, the product held just between thumb and index finger, apparently great for e-commerce shots, social media ads. The example prompt was quite specific. A high-resolution advertising photo of a product held between thumb and index finger. Clean, white background, soft shadows, and so on. It highlights how prompting, getting the text description right, is becoming this really important skill for marketers, for creatives. Whole new way to work. You can use Nano Banana via Gemini, FreePic, Adobe Firefly, and they suggest adding a little disclaimer about the scale, the actual size, on your product page. Good tip.
And it's a crowded space. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, has Seedream 4.0. Another image generator does 4K, multimodal stuff, understands text and images together. Tencent open-sourced Hunyuan Image 2.1. Meta is partnering with Black Forest Labs on image tech, a $140 million deal. Plus, Google updated its VO3 video models. Vertical video output now, HE resolution, and they cut the price in half, making AI video much more accessible. The whole creative landscape is just shifting so fast.
It really is nonstop.
So, wow, we have covered a lot today, a really remarkable range of developments, from those, near-telepathic interfaces and the proactive assistance to the big strategic shifts in enterprise AI, the chip tech, the humanoid robots. The pace is just staggering, isn't it?
It really is.
We're definitely seeing this future where AI isn't just some separate tool, it's becoming integral, often invisible, just woven into how we interact with everything. And we even saw that specific example, Eli Lilly releasing TuneLab, their AI drug discovery platform, trained on $1 billion worth of their own research data. Shows how AI is hitting critical sectors, speeding up science itself.
And if you pull back, look at the bigger picture. All this raises some fundamental questions, doesn't it? About our relationship with technology. As AI gets woven deeper into our lives, into physical reality, like with those robots. And as we try to figure out things like content licensing, how do we make sure we're building systems that are ethical, sustainable, that actually benefit everyone, especially when the tech starts to feel, as you said, like magic?
That is the big question, isn't it? As AI keeps evolving so rapidly, we can't just be passive observers. We have to engage with these implications. So for you listening, what new possibilities, maybe what new challenges do these daily advancements bring to mind? What really stands out to you from this deep dive today?